Hello, everyone. Welcome to the stream. My name is Brian Craig. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe, click that notification bell, and of course, if you don't mind, like and share the video as well. Welcome, everyone. And man, do we have a lot to talk about this morning. I'm going to start talking about Ukraine, and we'll get into our great President Trump's event last night and speech at CPAC, which I think was, I know I said this after the last one, but that was like his best speech. His speeches are so relevant and everything and timely that everyone is like the best one ever because it's so timely to what we're dealing with right here, right now in our lives. So we'll talk about the Trump CPAC event a little bit later in the stream. But, I want to talk first, though, about what is going on in Ukraine. And your calls are also welcome. I pinned the number in the chat there if you would like to call in. The number 561-453-0328. 561-453-0328. I want to talk, though, what's going on right now in Ukraine seems to be a little bit different than I think any of us expected since the war began, and certainly different than what Putin had planned. And this is going to turn out to be something much different, which I'm going to talk about in a bit, than we thought. Now, this is some of the news that's coming out. Russian troops enter Ukraine's second city of Kharkiv. Fierce fighting breaks out after Putin was said to be raging at the stalled invasion. Ukrainians obliterate Chechen Special Forces column of 56 tanks outside Kiev and kills a top general. Now, I saw those Chechen Special Forces guys yesterday in some of the news, and that was just, they were some scary guys. They all had those Rasputin beards going on. They were very scary-looking guys. And no doubt about that. And they beat them. Welcome to our new subscriber. Welcome, welcome. Yes. Thank you so much. What's going on with Zelensky and Ukraine is really amazing. This guy is a brave man. President Trump said that last night. He's a very brave man. He could very easily fly out and run the Ukrainian government from anywhere else in Europe or the world. And he hasn't done that. He stayed behind with his people. And Ukraine, in very many ways, does indeed seem to be winning. And let's just read through some of this. The group, likely to number in the hundreds, was blown to smithereens on their second day in Ukraine. Those killed include a Chechen general, one of the regime, I'm not going to try to pronounce his name, one of the regime's most highly decorated soldiers. Vladimir Putin had green-lighted their deployment, with each fighter given a deck of cards to help them recognize Ukrainian leaders, and they were encouraged to capture and kill them. Oh, my goodness. I don't know why this share button is over my text, but it's there. Zelensky is alive and fast becoming a global hero, and also they're calling him a sex symbol now, while Putin has faced scorn over the progress to capture the country. And before I get to the rest of this, things are turning fast against Russia. We're hearing this report, which I do believe is true. I do believe this is true because I know Russia's saying it's not true, but since when has Russia told us the truth about anything? If it were not true, Russia would have the general and all of the tanks and everything there, and we didn't see that. Now, they may come up with something down the road, but I wouldn't believe it at that point. They would have already had it out there for propaganda purposes. But I've heard reports that Putin only has enough money to finance this for, 10 to 15 days? I've heard different accounts depending on what news outlet, but between 10 and 15 days. So he's running out of money. Opinion polls in Russia are very much against what Putin's doing here. And, that's something because opinion polls are not something we typically would concern ourselves with what's going on in Russia. And, Putin, who's a dictator, all right, he's kept an iron grip of power in Russia. He's got a lot of enemies over there, including a lot of very wealthy enemies. And this very well, and I'd like to hear what you guys think about this. Agree, disagree. This very well could end up with Putin being removed from power. And I know a lot of people think that's crazy, but the Soviet Union was overthrown. Gorbachev was overthrown. There was a coup. There was a coup when Gorbachev was on vacation at a resort, and he was overthrown, and the Soviet Union was pretty strong. And I imagine that Gorbachev had fewer rich enemies in Russia than Putin, because, so could this possibly, do you think, first off, do you think that's possible, one, that Putin could be overthrown? Two, can Ukraine win this? Are they winning this? And three, if Putin is overthrown, would we be better off or not? Because there's a lot of these oligarchs we always hear about, these Russian billionaires. Boris Yeltsin overthrew Gorbachev. And think about this, if memories, it's been a long time, but wasn't Boris Yeltsin, what was his position when he overthrew? Was he the leader, was he the mayor of Moscow, or was he the leader of the Russian Republic? I can't remember, but he overthrew the leader of the Soviet Union, which I think would be a bigger task than billionaires, multiple billionaires. I did say that, yes. We do know this, tinfoil Timothy. We do know he was president of the Soviet Union. We do know this. Putin's a billionaire, but he's got a lot of billionaires around him that don't like him. Trump's a billionaire too, and look what he has to deal with. But this is definitely going to at least end up with a very weakened Putin, no matter how this turns out. So let's get back to this. On Sunday morning, that's this morning, but now it's afternoon over there, Ukrainian government ministers confirmed that they had managed to keep control of the capital city for the third night. Russian forces entered Kharkiv, Ukraine's second-largest city, around the same time, with street battles reported to be taking place. Russia has struck the State Nuclear Regulatory Inspector of Ukraine in Kiev, which stores nuclear waste, and the facility's radiation detector was destroyed. It goes into that. The UN says at least 240 Ukrainian citizens have been killed. Now, that's a lot of lives, and we certainly want to pray for them. But with a military action of this size and a mass invasion like this, 240 seems low, much lower than you would imagine. Itchy Brain has his hand up. Well, you're welcome to call. I pinned the number in the chat if you'd like to call live on the stream here. Pick up your phone. There's the number. No, but I think things are not going the way that Putin planned. Russia blew up a gas pipeline, blah, blah, in eastern Ukraine. And, of course, we're hearing about all these blasts and everything. But the main takeaway is the Ukrainians have obliterated a Chechen Special Forces column of 56 tanks, and they killed that Chechen general, who was did you guys see those Chechen Special Forces? They were scary as hell. I wouldn't want anything to do with any of those. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe. And everyone who's already subscribed, please make sure you like the video and also click the notification bell. I upload content here every day of the week, and including my podcast with my wife, Kathy. And, of course, I'm live 6 till 9 a.m. Monday through Friday, and then I'm here on the weekends. And you never know when I'm going to upload something else, especially with all of the breaking news that is going on. So let me know what you guys think with this. You can give me a yes or a no. A yes or a no. Do you think this could result in Putin being overthrown? Yes or no? I think it's a very big possibility. He really, if he's not winning, he's the weakest that he's ever been. All right, let's take a call here. Hello there. Welcome to the stream. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Yes. All right, here we go. Once, twice. All right. The trolls are starting, people. The trolls are starting, but that's okay. I can handle the trolls. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. No. Wow. We got a 1 or 2 yeses and well, a few yeses. I don't know. We're almost evenly split if this could result in Putin being overthrown. I'll tell you this. With as many wealthy people in Russia, you know they hate him. You know they hate him. They live in terror. They are not free, even though they're billionaires. And those are powerful people. And Putin's not doing as well here as he expected. All right, we'll try it again. Hello, welcome to the stream. What's your name?
Good morning,
Where are you
Brian.
calling from?
This is Jack from Wyoming.
Jack in Wyoming. What's up, Wyoming?
You know, what we're witnessing in Ukraine is validation of our Second Amendment. Yes, they have a military, but people are, we got celebrities going over there picking up an AK-47. This is their Red Dawn moment.
Yeah.
And you know, the Democrats, of course, they want to disarm all of us. But this is what happens when people do not want to be taken over. And to them, it is a foreign enemy. So it's just, I haven't heard anybody really mention that. Of course, the media won't.
Well, you know, Ukraine are not great guys. I mean, it's a corrupt, Wild West kind of country. You know, Joe Biden's not the only Washington Politico who's got all kinds of corrupt dealings in Ukraine. A lot of them do. I mean, it's a very corrupt place. I'm not sure if it's a true free democracy. Zelensky shut down 2 television stations that were opposed to him. The guy that he beat in the election, they put in jail. But, you know, so this isn't like England or something we're dealing with here. You know what I mean? This isn't like a free country like we live in America.
No, I understand that. No, the governments, you know, they are what they are, and ours are what it is. But I'm talking about the citizens themselves, the people that live there.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you know, if you go around the history of the world, you know, and you look at the dictators. I mean, when Castro won the revolution, first thing he did was disarm the Cuban people. Hitler did the same thing. When Hitler came to power, the first thing the Nazis did was disarm the people. And there's truth to that. It's easier to take over a country of unarmed than armed people. Absolutely. You know, and you know the United States is you know, we were talking about with the differences between the United States and Canada, you know, a couple of weeks ago with the convoy. The United States is a country that was founded on a violent revolution, and the original soldiers that joined up with George Washington, most of them brought their guns and powder from home that they personally owned to go up against what was the greatest army at the time.
Correct.
The British Army, the Redcoats. So yeah, that's the history of this country. And you know, after the Second World War, one of the first things Stalin did was disarm the public because so many were armed because of the Russian invasion of the Soviet Union then. So yeah, you're absolutely right. And recently they passed their own Second Amendment of sorts in Ukraine, allowing private citizens to own guns. And that's something maybe Putin didn't count on.
Well, I think you're right about that. I think that's why he's so. What I read on, I think it was Gateway Pundit this morning. He's fumed. Well, all right, Brian. Have a good morning.
Well, thank you for calling. All right, welcome. Yeah, see, pick up the phone, give me a call, share your thoughts. Oh man, I tell you. But you know this Red Dawn kind of thing going on. That's not a good thing. The Redcoats have always been a problem, and I'll tell you this before we get back to what's going on in Ukraine and our corrupt government, and some of the things Joe Biden is doing, which is just insane to me, involving Ukraine and Russia. But I don't trust the British. I know we have some Brits here, and I'm not necessarily talking about you, but your government, your deep state is our deep state, our government. They all go to school together. Mayor Pete, Bill Clinton, Rhodes Scholars, you know. Jessica Tarloff, who you see on Fox, She went to the London School of Economics, one of those, fancy pants places. They all go to Harvard, Yale, Oxford, Princeton, and all of that. And if you think about it, the Brits, sometimes I think maybe in many ways the American Revolution wasn't fully run. I mean, what role have the Brits had over this country all these years, right? They got us into the war in Iraq with the. Remember, it was British intelligence that produced the lying, fake weapons of mass destruction intelligence that was sold to the world. So I don't trust the British establishment, and I don't trust their deep state either. I mean, they're bad, and they got a lot of power and influence over this country, more than we want to realize. Oh boy, yes. I know exactly. So this is good news. The Ukrainians obliterate Chechen Special Forces column of 56 tanks and kills a top general. That is amazing. But what Biden is doing in regards to Russia right now is insane. The way that we are still working with Russia just blows my mind. For example, look at this. NASA will keep its partnership with the Russian Space Agency, which, by the way, we no longer need. Oh, I just lost my tab here. Hold on. Let me pull it up. There we go. Yeah, this is in the Daily Wire. NASA will keep its partnership with the Russian Space Agency. Now, with SpaceX, we no longer need it. Obama shut down the manned American space program, and we had to get to the space station, go on these ridiculously dated Russian rockets. Well, let's take another call. Hello there. You're live on the stream. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
It's me, Zachary, and I'm from Ohio.
Zachary in Ohio. How you doing, Zachary?
Yeah.
In Ohio?
I just came back from the cinema. I watched Boku no Pico last night.
Whatever that is. Okay.
It was great.
I don't know what that is. Is that some obscenity? I don't know. What are you calling about this morning?
About the current crisis situation going on in the plumbing in Ohio.
Oh, in the plumbing in Ohio. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know. All right. Hey, listen, take care. I appreciate the call. Oh, my goodness. The plumbing in Ohio. I'm from Ohio originally, and there's talent in Ohio. There are people from Ohio that have talent and humor. That caller was not one of them. So anyway, NASA will keep its partnership with the Russian Space Agency. NASA has no plans to cut ties with the Russian space program, even as the Biden administration issues new sanctions on the Russian Space Agency. Well, either we have sanctions against Russia or we don't. Either we have sanctions against Russia or we don't. And with Elon Musk and SpaceX, we don't need the Russians to get to the space station anymore. I don't understand what this is all about. Let's see here. On Thursday, Biden unveiled measures that will cut off more than half of Russia's high-tech imports. Well, I hope we're not sending any more Americans up on these Russian rockets if we're cutting off their space agency with these sanctions. Let's see here. NASA continues working with all of our international partners, including the Russians, on the ongoing safe operation of the International Space Station. I think at this point, maybe we should kick the Russians off the space station. And it's not just that. Look at this. American military news. Biden administration says it'll keep working with Putin in important areas like climate change. Are you kidding me? Joe Biden's State Department said Friday. Now, keep in mind, this is well after Russia has committed war crimes, invaded a sovereign country, killing people, continuing to do so. Joe Biden's State Department said on Friday that the Biden administration will continue to work with Russia when it comes to areas that are of overriding importance. While the department did not say exactly what those areas include, the spokesman's comments come days after the U.S. Special Climate Envoy John Kerry said he hopes President Putin will help us to stay track with respect to what we need to do for the climate. Yeah, I played that yesterday. During a Friday press conference, the State Department spokesman, Ned Price, told reporters that while the U.S. relationship with Moscow is very different following Russia's attack on Ukraine. The Biden administration will continue to engage with Putin in certain areas. This is what I mean. This is what I mean about what a sociopathic, terrible person Joe Biden is. If you're involved in any type of relationships with another country, no matter what it is, and they invade a sovereign country and kill civilians and commit international war crimes, you stop partnering with them on everything, right? I mean, if you had a neighbor that you did some things, block parties with, watched each other's houses when you're out of town, mowed each other's lawns, and then you found out that he was a murderer, that he was murdering people, would you stop inviting him to the barbecue? Would you stop inviting the guy to the block party? Or would you say, well, yes, he's a murderer, but, he's part of the block party experience, so we're going to... This is just stupid. If you had an employee who was murdering people, but they did a good job at work and you didn't have any problems with their job performance, would you let them go, or would you keep the murderer working for you? Well, Joe Biden does. Okay, Russia's actions need to explode. At the same time, this is the State Department, we have national security priorities, national security imperatives. And there may be some areas in which the fulfillment of our national security priorities and imperatives require us to engage to coexist at some level with the Russian Federation. He didn't say which ones, though. What a piece of work. What a beaut. What a beaut. This is just such a joke. It really is. And when you see how Biden operates, it's really sometimes it's hard to believe that the stories that we're reading are real, right? It's hard to believe they're even real sometimes. Still working with NASA. Now, this one here, Biden and the State Department, the White House, are doing something, if it's true, and I have no reason to believe that it is not true. Biden himself is taking part in Putin's crimes, and this story here is out of the Gateway Pundit. Look at this. Zelensky and Putin are negotiating a time and place to meet, but failed U.S. diplomats, meaning, our diplomats have failed at their jobs, want the Biden regime to negotiate with Putin. And this is in the Gateway Pundit. And the Gateway Pundit is a very, very credible news outlet. Okay, for years, Democrat leaders have been stealing from Ukraine. That's right, haven't they? Hunter Biden is the poster child of the U.S. stealing from Ukraine. There's a long list of corrupt U.S. politicians who took money from Ukraine. Oh, that's a link. Let me click that. Reminder, Joe Biden, John Kerry, Mitt Romney, the Clintons, Nancy Pelosi, and George Soros all have connections to Ukraine. Okay, so maybe we'll go back to that later. That looks like an interesting story. I have to read more on that. After taking from Ukraine for years, Biden and his gang turned their back on Ukraine and took the weekend off. That's right, back to Delaware. This was despite promises made just 11 years ago. Listen to this. After all this, it's really shocking that the Biden administration would claim that they should be negotiating with Russia instead of Ukraine. Will Ukrainians be so foolish to let Biden represent them? Well, they may not have a choice. The conservative Treehouse reported, which is also a great conservative news platform, amid the intense conflict continuing, the government of Zelensky and the government of Putin are in negotiations for a meeting. However, the U.S. State Department does not want Zelensky and Putin to negotiate an end to hostilities. That's because they want Biden to be able to take credit. They need, they want, we're in an election year and Biden is checked out with his severe cognitive decline. By the way, welcome. If you're just joining the stream, welcome. Good morning, everyone. And if you're new here, subscribe, all right? And everyone, please like the video and click that notification bell. But, one of the things, with Biden, because of his failure on everything. I mean, everything. Look at this. I mean, President Trump talked about this last night at CPAC. President Trump handed Biden a perfect country. He resolved even the pandemic. President Trump. Economy's booming. Everything's booming. International peace. No new wars. Everything else. And he's wrecked everything. Biden has wrecked everything. And he's a failure. Come on. And inflation is continuing to rise. There'll be a fluctuation one day, one way or the other. But overall, we're going north on inflation. We're not even close to stopping. And there's a lot of other problems, too. So the White House, while people are hiding in basements with their children and their pets, fathers are putting their wives and children on buses to bug out of Ukraine. The tanks are coming down the street. All they can think about at the White House is Biden looking good. So Zelensky and Putin trying to meet, people behind the scenes setting it up. Putin and Zelensky both have sent signals that they want to meet for some type of summit meeting. And what's happened? The State Department, oh no, we need Biden to look good. We need a moment here. Our poll numbers are bad. He's a failure here. All these bad stories. So we need Biden to be the partner in peace so that he can get, or at least someone from the State Department do it, so Biden can get credit for stopping this war. Are you kidding me? What a sicko. What a sicko. Who would be opposed to Zelensky, who's a pretty tough guy, negotiating a peace agreement with Putin? Who would be opposed to that? A sadistic sicko like Joe Biden. That's who. And those around him as well. You're welcome to call in. Is somebody give me a hard time in the chat? Stuart, man up, pick up the phone, call. Oh man, press 1 if you watched President Trump last night at CPAC. Wasn't that a great speech last night? Oh man, it was a very good one. Now, this is a poll you're not going to see too much of, because they don't like. This is also in the Gateway Pundit. I love the Gateway Pundit. You guys like the Gateway Pundit? Gateway Pundit's awesome. Only 4% of the military, that's our military, believe Biden did enough to prevent Russia from invading Ukraine. See, this is part of the reason that they're bringing critical race theory into the military. They want to purge the military of people that aren't liberal. And, the military of the United States, their opinions, the opinion of the military, while the military doesn't, dictate, hopefully, policy, but the military of the United States was at war for 20 years in the war on terror. Looks like everyone watched the Trump. We'll talk about Trump in just a bit, because I thought that was a spectacular speech. The military was at war for 20 years in the war on terror, and they're veteran troops. I mean, that's just it. We have a military that are hardcore veterans. I don't mean veterans just that they served in the service. I mean, they're wartime veterans. And I think the military's opinion is relevant in a crisis like this, because not only do they understand, they have a lot of expertise in what's going on, and they probably have a great, I've been watching over the past few days, I know some of you have too, Pete Hegseth, who's a major in the National Guard, and he's in the service still, and he's kind of almost like a military expert over on Fox right now, and he gives some pretty good analysis militarily, as to what's going on the field of battle in Ukraine. And he's not a general, he's a major. But our military are such combat veteran, unfortunately, that they have an expertise in these things. So I think the military opinion is something that is very credible. But they want to purge the military. They want to have a bunch of lefties there. That's why they got their critical race theory business going on. And then this one, I know you guys have seen this. We're sending the Border Patrol to Poland to secure the border between Poland and Ukraine, which is just stupid. I mean, that doesn't even make sense. Our border here is wide open, And the White House and the Border Patrol and Homeland Security, the Department of Defense are worried about securing the border of Poland when ours is wide open. There's drugs coming across, drug traffickers, sex slavers with their sex slaves coming across every minute of every day. And they're taking guys off of our border and sending them to Poland. That makes no sense at all. Stewart is across the pond liberal. I don't know, what does that mean? Is he in the UK? Now, Stewart, I don't know. I'm not really watching Stewart too much. Let me go back here and see. What's he saying? Yeah, he looks just like a troll. I mean, I want you to, how can a thinking, intelligent person be a liberal today? And I don't want to hear someone say, well, I'm a classical liberal from the Kennedy era. I'm talking about today. You know, how could you be a liberal and support your Democrats of today? What is one thing? I want you to think about this now. We're just over a year. We're 13 months into Joe Biden's failed administration. What is one thing in the last 13 months that Joe Biden has done? Well, welcome, Noah. New subscriber. Welcome, Noah. What is one thing in the last 13 months as president that Joe Biden has done that was a good thing for anyone other than himself and his family enriching themselves? What is one thing that Joe Biden has done as president that worked out to be a good thing? Can you think of, I mean, how can you, and what is even his agenda today? You know, he, even with his Supreme Court pick, Paul Ryan's relative we were talking about yesterday, you know, this guy is so dated. He's like, you know what he's like Austin Powers without the sense of humor. He's a man from another time. Like he was frozen in a block of ice back in 63, 64 and thawed out. And, you know, like he actually thinks that in 2022, it's a big deal for an African-American woman to be a federal judge or on the Supreme Court. Black people have been doing these things for a long time, Joe. But to him, that's a big deal. It's a, wow, you know, she's like a Neil Armstrong-like character, you know. I mean, you know, to him, that's a big deal that black people can do such things. And the reality is I know the Democrats are trying to bring us back into it, but we're in a post-racial society in many ways. The Democrats are doing a lot of things to make everything racial, but these things don't matter. I mean, go around today, you know, like here I am in Florida, okay, which when the Democrats ran Florida and the Deep South, Florida was part of the Democrat segregated Jim Crow South. Everywhere you go, almost every couple, almost every family is interracial today. White guy, Hispanic wife. Black guy, white wife. You know, whatever. You know, there's very, yeah, it's amazing. When the Democrats controlled the South, when Joe Biden entered politics, those relationships were illegal. They were illegal. They were on the books illegal. When Joe Biden first got into politics. And now people don't even blink at something like that. You know, we're really in a post-racial society, and you know, Rush Limbaugh used to talk about how the Democrats had that old Democrat playbook. They always go back to that Democrat playbook, and they got, you know, and the same old plays. And this is an example of that. Now, I want to tell you guys before we move on here about the Thomas Edison of sleep, the inventor of the MyPillow. That's right, Mike Lindell. And when you go to MyPillow.com and you use our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane, there are huge savings. And when you go there, you'll see this window pop up. You'll actually get $10 off the already discounted price with our promo code Kane at checkout. And right now, as on yesterday's stream, my dog Nina is at my feet sleeping. She's not snoring this morning. She's sleeping on her MyPillow pet bed. And I wanted to show you guys this. Let me see if I can pull this up. Here we go. Yeah, this is this is Nina. Now, in this video, she's wide awake, but she is on her MyPillow pet bed, which there's an incredible discount on, which I'll show you in just a moment. And, you know, this MyPillow pet bed, I'll show you the video of her. Inside has the same patented fill that are in your MyPillows. It's very comfortable. And we have 2 of these. This was the first one we got. The other one we have is the tan MyPillow pet bed. And they're completely reversible. And one thing that's really cool about these is they're 100% washable. You just throw this whole thing in the washer and in the dryer, and it's like new every single time. It's absolutely amazing. And, dogs are dirty. They're out there rolling around and doing things we don't want to know about. They come in the house, they're dirty. And I've had so many pet beds over the years. I've tried everything before we found the MyPillow pet bed. And the other ones, they have a cover wrapped around foam. You can't wash the foam underneath. You wash the cover. It's still got all their mess in the foam that you can never get out. And after you wash, even if you air dry the covers of those other ones, you can never get the cover on right. But the MyPillow pet bed, you can wash the whole thing, and it's like new every time. And we wash ours all the time, every week, and dry them. And they're right out of the dryer like new. So this is Nina, and our cat loves it too. But this is Nina, our dog, on her pet bed. Watch this. Well, Nina finally got her bed back from our cat, and she's not moving. Now this is the MyPillow pet bed. You can get 30% off. There's a different deal now, which I'll share with you in a minute, even a better deal. When you use the promo code KANE, Kane, at checkout at MyPillow.com. So go to MyPillow.com, use the promo code KANE, Kane, and get 30% off your MyPillow pet bed. You can tell Nina loves it. Chilling out. Hard day of loafing. Yeah. Yeah, she loves that thing. Now, there's a great deal right now. Now, again, whatever special you see at MyPillow.com, you can take advantage of with the promo code KANE. And the pet beds right now are actually 50% off. That's right. As low as $19.99, and then that window that popped up, you can actually get another $10 off. So you can actually get your MyPillow pet bed for as low as $9.99 with our promo code KANE if you get that window pop up and you take advantage of that. And that's the small one. The one that Nina was on, that's the larger pet bed. And she loves it. She loves it. So it's a great deal. 50% off with our promo code at checkout, KANE, Kane. All right? And your pet will love it. No doubt about that. I know Nina does. And our cat, she loves it too. That's why we have 2 of them. So we have one in each room, and we move them around all the time. And it's pretty cool. Now, President Trump last night announced that he's running. He's going to do a 3rd run, and he's running. And this is absolutely amazing. This was at CPAC last night, which, and I watched the entire speech. I watched it live. Is there anyone in here who did not watch? I mean, my goodness, I know you come on. And this was just, I think, his best speech. Now, I know every speech lately I've said that. This is his best speech ever, his best speech in years. And I think there's a couple reasons why that every one is better than the one before. One, we're starved for Trump because we're so used to having him every day, and we don't right now. But his speeches, like this one last night, are very relevant to what's going on in the news today. And his last one was the same. He's got another rally plan, which I'll give you the details of in a bit here. But President Trump announced last night that he is running in 2024. He's going to do his 3rd run.
They're going to find out the hard way starting on November 8th, and then again, even more so, on November 2024. They will find out like never before. We did it twice, and we'll do it again. We're going to be doing it again a 3rd time. 2022 will be the year that millions of everyday citizens stand up to the left-wing fascists.
That's right. So he is running again. That's it. Now, do you consider that an official announcement? I do. I think that's an official announcement. He said it. Did it twice. Going to do it again. 3rd run. And only Trump can save us from this. I'm very sorry to Ron DeSantis because I love DeSantis. He's my governor. And who knows who his vice president is going to be? We know it's not going to be Mike Pence. But who would you like to see? Maybe I'm just biased because Ron DeSantis is my governor. Who would you like to see as running mate to be? Yeah, I did have the volume up loud with President Trump. That's okay. Oh, President Trump, would it make you feel better, Slick Pickles, if the volume was lower with our president? I'll lower it for you if you want. We'll go back. I'll play it lower for you.
They're going to find out the hard way starting on November 8th, and then again, even more so, on November 2024. They will find out like never before. We did it twice, and we'll do it again. We're going to be doing it again a third time.
That's it. I mean, that is the official announcement. You know, it can't be Carrie Lake. She's not even governor yet. We need Carrie Lake to – let's see how she does as governor. I love Carrie Lake. She's awesome. She was there watching this speech last night. But we need her to be governor for a while and get some experience. Ron DeSantis is proven, and this is very important because whoever Trump's vice president is going to be the nominee in 2028 and will be our second MAGA president. And a lot of people tell me, even Kathy sometimes, Ron DeSantis, he's not a follower, he's a leader. If this were the first go-around for President Trump, I don't think that Ron DeSantis would run as vice president. But since President Trump's second non-consecutive term, too, will be his last term because you can only have 2 terms, and he's a sure thing for the nomination for the Republican Party in 2028, he is going to he would take it. He would take it in a heartbeat. He's my favorite by far. And you guys around the country don't get to see Ron DeSantis as much as we do here in Florida. But Ron DeSantis, when he does a press conference every day somewhere in Florida, he has a press conference. And these liberal reporters treat him like they treat Trump, and they're always after him. And he handles them with brilliance, with sarcasm, and really holds them accountable. The press really he's so great with the media. So great. It's like Trump with the media. He's absolutely amazing. And he's my pick. I mean, whoever President Trump picks, we'll support. We know it won't be Pence. That's for sure. That is for sure. It will not be Pence. I wanted to show you a couple things here. Hold on. Where is this video? I wanted to show you this video. Let me see if I can find this. Oh, yes. Let me pull this up. Mike Lindell had a run-in at CPAC with a CBS reporter, Robert Costa, who's a CBS News reporter. Michael, $5 super chat. Thank you. Michael says, Morning, Brian. Has Kerry determined Putin's carbon offset credit bill to cover the Ukrainian civilian slaughter? Let's go, Lurch. Mike from Massapequa. Yeah, well, that's a good point. Yeah, we gotta get that together. We got to find out what is the carbon footprint there. No doubt about it. Now, this is pretty funny, actually. This is this CBS News reporter who's reporting with his iPhone. Yes, everyone, please thank Michael. And this arm is the arm of the Thomas Edison of sleep, Mike Lindell. And he called this guy out as fake news right here in the, at CPAC. Watch this.
Traitor! CBS, Robert Kowska is a traitor to the United States of America. No, you're a traitor. This is old news. You're regurgitating. You care about whether you protect the company openly and you attack the company called MyPillow. You're a traitor to our country. You're disgusting. Traitor! 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 Traitor!
Traitor! That's Mike Lindell. And I know, isn't that hilarious? That's hilarious. Let me have some more coffee. Hold on. I think that's pretty funny. I like that. And, I saw Sebastian Gorka did something similar on Friday. A reporter from Mediaite. Mediaite's pretty left-wing. And they started asking Sebastian Gorka questions when he was walking around. He says, I don't talk to fake news. And they kept asking him questions. And Sebastian Gorka said, did you not hear what I said? I do not talk to fake news. And they said, yes. And he says, then why are you still asking me questions? And he walked off. And there seemed to be a consensus, which I think is a very good thing, among our MAGA conservatives at CPAC to not talk to the fake news media. And someone said, why is he screaming? Well, most of you probably haven't dealt with this. I have. This is a CBS News reporter. When someone, and liberals like to do this, and I've had people do this to me too, and unless you've experienced it, you won't understand this feeling. But when someone pulls out their cell phone like this, and they're bombarding you with whatever, they're trying to trigger you. This iPhone here, it could be an Android too. I don't know. Is that an iPhone or an Android? It's very threatening. It's an intimidation factor, and they have the camera in your face trying to trip you up. And I've had people do this to me. It really you feel like you're being violated when these liberals are trying to trip you up and get you on a phone like this. And that's what they do. It's to try to catch you doing something, to trigger you to do something, to instigate you to do something. And then they got it on their phone, and they can edit it and release it in any way that they want. So no, I think Mike Lindell handled himself very well, and MAGA need to start calling out these fake news people like this. They should not be able just to go around and lie and slander people. And that's what Kyle Rittenhouse is going to get into with his lawsuits and his organization. Now, Marjorie Taylor Greene, I have an article here about Marjorie Taylor Greene I wanted to share. Where's this article? There we go. Okay. She had to speak. Okay. I don't know him, says Marjorie Taylor Greene. She denies she is friends with white nationalists despite speaking